I'm on the whiteboard right now figuring out for my own business, because we got to do this. I'm figuring out how many times we have to talk to each customer to figure out what is our minimum price point and why it's incredibly inefficient and not profitable to be the $99 guy. So I figured I'd just turn on the camera real quick and record with you, and I threw on my Untrapped podcast shirt because of my podcast, and it's wrinkly. Anyways, so I'll tell you a quick story and I'll explain why we had to talk to one customer 16 times, and on average it's between 10 to 16 times we're talking to each customer, whether it be digitally, through a phone call, through an email, a quote. And so when doing that many times, if you got one-off jobs and you're only making $100 to $200 per job doing that, and you're doing that across, at any given time, we're talking to 50 brand new and recurring customers in my business right now, and wonder why you're pulling your hair out because there's so much communication going on. Do you need to switch over to a recurring revenue model where you just bill their credit card every week or every month, or they just pay their payment online and you just stop talking to the customer so much, or do you do one-off jobs? So this is super important. And all right, so condo associations. We've done some HOAs where we deal with the HOA and then we just do like 20 properties within a subdivision or like a condo complex. But sometimes you might get like a neighborhood where you have like 10 customers that all individually want you to take care of all of them, but they all have little teeny tiny projects, and they're very nice people and you would love to take care of them, and you can. And you can get in there. So we did a condo association last week, and my foreman, Kyle, a really great guy. He's smart, he's articulate, he's been working for me all season now, and it's really going well. He's out there and he's taking care of these customers, and he sends me this text message. He's like, bro, this is awesome, man. Bread and butter money, bro. We got all these little tiny customers in one subdivision. And then I was like, no, he doesn't understand right now. He's very smart, but on the administrative side, he didn't see that I had talked to just one customer, this very nice lady. We have like a $400 minimum in our business to do anything. But because we were doing a bunch of customers, I lowered it to a $125 minimum, and it was about $125 worth of work. Trim a couple shrubs here, happy customer, trim this and top it, little condo association, right? And I realized we had to talk to this one lady. She finds us on Google. Now you can have a follow ad campaign that contacts them 20 more times with ads, but I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about organic here. All right. Then they might come to the website. That's another contact. They pick up the phone and actually call you. You talk to them on the phone. You qualify them, and then maybe you collect all their information and you go do a physical quote. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact. Then you show up and do the quote, and now you send them the quote to their email, or you close the job on the spot, or if you don't, then maybe you have to follow up with them 1, 2, 3 more times before they actually say yes. Or we use Jobber in my business, and it follows up with the customers. It's really cool. Then they call back and they say, yes, I want you to do the job. Okay, you say, okay, Mrs. Jones, we'll be there Tuesday at 9 a.m. and you show up and you actually do the job. Okay, look at all this work happening. And then you send them an invoice, and they pay their bill online, or they write you a check, and then you send them a follow-up email thanking them and asking for a positive review on Google, or then you talk to them again. Or maybe you had to reschedule because you got rained out and you had to go back another day, but then it rained again and you had to call them 2 more times to keep rescheduling, and then you finally got there and got it done, and then you finally sent them a follow-up email or locked them in as a client. And so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times you had to freaking communicate with one little tiny customer for $99. And at any given time in my business, we're talking to 50 customers. We got about let's say we got 25 quotes on the books that we're going out and doing quotes. 25 customers are waiting for quotes and have requests. We have 25 brand new customers calling each day, and we have 25 customers that we're following up with that we've already given quotes to actually close them on work. And not only do we have all these new customers, but then we have our recurring customers. This is so much work that hogs up all of your bandwidth. So my guy, my foreman was like, bro, all this bread and butter money, this is awesome. I was like, wait a second, you don't understand the administrative side. We're talking to all of these little tiny customers 15 times just to get out there and do the property. We're pulling our hair out. By the time the work actually gets done and we collect the checks, we're so exhausted. We've spent time that we could have, because like I said, if it's like lawn care or something and you just got on a recurring revenue, but this is one-off jobs, right? So we've spent so much time that we could have been spending closing $5,000 jobs for one customer. So, or a $50,000 job. Like we do jobs for $5, $10, $15, $20,000. My favorite jobs are in anywhere from $7,500 to 15 grand. For me in my business, for what we do, over 20 grand. I think the biggest ones I've done are like 20 grand, right? And they get a little stressful because there's so many different projects going on, and we're on a property too long. I like to get in for a few days and get out. About 5 grand is good for 7,500. Okay, so when we do these jobs, we're on a job for a few days, and then while you're on a job for a few days, spending all this time on one job with one customer who wrote one check at maybe a 50% gross profit margin, 50% divided by 2 equals 2,500. So now you got a $2,500 gross profit margin for just dealing with one customer. And you might have to talk to them 16 times for $2,500. You're like, that's insane. I never do that in my business, dude. We talk to customers 16 times all the time. We're like always communicating with our customers. By the time that's why like you eventually hire an office manager or something like that, or you move to the recurring revenue model, or you start upping your prices because you realize how valuable your time is, and you only have so much bandwidth, and when it's all being sequestered by constantly being on the phone all day, it's insane, right? So I could tell you 100 stories, but anyways, I told him about all this contact. He's like, whoa. Now he's like, I didn't think of that part of it because I'm used to doing lawn care. He's done lawn care forever, and they're on the recurring revenue. I'm like, this is not recurring revenue. So I've kind of like hammered that home, right? So that's why you need to raise your price. We went from $99 to $199 to $299 to $399. Any of those rules can be broken, because if you're doing a job for $4, $5, $6, $700, $5 grand, and a neighbor next door wants a couple shrubs trimmed real quick for $200, depending on what your minimum is, you would do it. But I made a video before, and it got a couple million views on Facebook, and all of these people who don't actually own service businesses. It's a funny thing. If you ever say like, I wish my videos would go viral, well, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, because I've actually had videos get 1, 2, 3, and 1 to 2 to 3 million views, and we want to have like 10 to 15 million total views just over the past year, I think. You got all these mainstream, let's just call it mainstream America, which is great, but all these people who end up seeing the videos, and they're seeing me talk about this type of stuff, and they're going, this guy's an idiot, he's such an idiot, I can't believe it. Why would he turn down work? That's a stupid business owner. A stupid business owner would never turn down work. $99 is $99. But if you don't understand what you got, workers' comp, payroll, insurance, paying a bookkeeper, quarterly taxes, year-end taxes, vehicle equipment repair and maintenance, truck payments, what else? Office payment. What other payments do I got? General liability, I already said that. Work comp, unemployment insurance. There's so much administrivia and so much in this on the P&L statement. By the time you're done, depending on the size of your business, if you do like if you're a one-man band in a truck, you might make literally a 70% profit margin. You might make an 80% profit margin. But if you got, an employee or 2 or 3 employees, you literally might only be making a 20% profit margin in your business. So out of $99, you are making $19 to $20. So would you talk to a customer, let's say you got a couple employees in the field, licensed, insured, and you're making a 20% profit margin, which you should be making more than that, but I'm just saying. Would you talk to a customer 16 times for $20? $20? Would you talk to a customer 16 times that wasn't on a recurring revenue model for $20? No. So we have to find out what that's worth, or we have to charge enough money, and there's only so much that the market can bear. Right? What can the market bear? Here's like, can you see that? Here's like a dial, a gauge, and you want to keep raising the prices until you get into a place where you're only closing, let's say, depending on your industry and what you do and where you're at, if you start getting below like a 30% close ratio, Now a 30% close of what? What I mean is of qualified leads. So if 100 people call and you disqualify 50 over them over the phone because they're not a good fit, like why would you drive all the way across the town to go give somebody a quote in person and sit in traffic when you don't even know they're a good fit, and then you show up, you're like, oh, this isn't even our type of job. I don't even want to do this. They're like, okay, bye. And you're like, why did I just drive all the way across town? Let's do that again. Never. I used to do that all the time, like until I learned from all these business guys all this stuff. So you qualify them over the phone, and then I'm just getting into this real quick so I can explain what this is. And then the ones that are qualified that actually become a quote, you can quote them on Google Earth, you can quote them over pictures, whatever, or you can go drive there and do it. What percentage of those do you close? That's your close rate, like qualified leads, right? That's what I've learned to be true. But you keep raising the price until so many people are saying no that you're only closing like 3 out of 10, maybe back the prices down. People brag all the time, man, I close 80%, I'm the highest priced guy in my town. There are people that actually do that. Like I got a friend who owns this huge brick paver patio company, and he says he's the most expensive guy around. He has a very good closing rate. I don't know what it is. It's got to be like, I think he said it's like 60%. And the guy is very high priced, but he does like the best of the best of the best work, and people want to pay for that, apparently, allegedly, by what he says. So you got to figure out what's best for you. But anyways, when I'm saying that, all that, because I could easily just tell you, oh, you got to raise your prices so you're making enough money. Like if you go on paper, I've done this before, and this is what makes especially landscapers and lawn care guys pull their freaking hair out if you're in this business, is, okay, how much would I have to charge to run my dream business? I would have to charge $113 per man hour times 3 guys is $339 per hour. Okay, I got that. Okay, $339 per hour. Right? Okay, then I need to go buy me 2 more brand new trucks, a dingo. Well, we need an office and an office manager. Okay, but we need a bookkeeper, we need this, we gotta get all dish. Okay, and then figure out everything that you need. You figure out everything that you need to make a certain amount of money so you can make plenty of money and live your dream business. And then you launch out into the real world in the marketplace, and all the customers are like, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that. And then you go back to your coaches on YouTube and the guys that told you all this crap. You raise your prices. Raise your prices. To what? To what parameter? To what metric? To what? Raise your prices to what? Of course you got to raise your prices, of course. But like to what sensible, rational, pragmatic, predictable, trackable, quantifiable, realistic, marketplace bearing percentage or ratio that actually makes sense, right? And the only way to do that is by testing, right? So you might want to keep all your customers the same, or half of them, and then raise prices on the other ones. And you might actually get all this figured out, and then the whole market turns on you. It goes into some type of recession, and people are scared and aren't spending any money, and you're banging your head up against the wall because what worked for you last year ain't working this year, and you don't know why, and everybody's like, you're stupid. It's because you're stupid. You're like, dude, I'm not stupid. This was working for me. I was crushing it. We had like 20 grand in the business bank account. Everything was paid on time. We were giving people bonuses. Everything was working beautiful. I'm doing all the same stuff I did last year, but now it's not working. And people are like, it's because you're stupid. It's because you're stupid. You must be doing something wrong. I'm crushing it. So you get all this conflicting information all over the internet, and I think that if you know what the hell's going on in your business, I'm just goofing around because now that I'm talking about all this stuff, it's like I'm coaching myself. Screw you, get out of here. I'm coaching myself, and you can't see this. This is mine. I rip off the page and I crumple it up and I stick it in my pocket and I run off. So, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just having fun here. So, you know, like literally right before I started this video, a bee landed on me and stung me. And I told my wife, I said, because I'm allergic to bees, if I faint, then she was like, go take some Benadryl. I just deal with it. I haven't fainted. Because a few years ago I got stung by a cicada wasp. For real. This thing went on my leg and it stung me on the leg, bro. I said, it's okay. My whole face turned red and I literally broke out in hives everywhere. And this dude that worked for me, Forrest. So, dude, he goes, bro, you don't look good. I need to take you to the hospital right now. We're on a job site. It's in the middle of July. We got all this work to do. And I just got stung by this wasp. Like, Killer wasp. I can't say it, right? And all of a sudden, my throat closed up, and I started everything started going black, and I went into tunnel vision, and I knew for a fact that I had to get to the hospital immediately, or I was not going to survive, dude. He gets me in the side of puts me in the passenger seat of my little Dakota truck, and there's rust all over it, dude, and he just floors it, and he's running red lights, and my head's against the window. It's like 100 degrees out because there's no AC in there. And he's like, hold on, buddy, I got you, hold on. I'm like, yeah. And he gets me to the clinic, and he helps me in, and I'm all sweaty landscaping. He's like, he got stung by a wasp. And my face was all red, swelled like a balloon. And they're like, okay, get him in here quick. And they threw me on the hospital bed, and they stuck me. And they started like with these shots and stuff. And I was laying there. You ever seen Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Oh my God, I'm so like monitoring every single thing that I say right now. So, okay, so remember when he got thrown out of the spaceship into Mars and his whole face turned red and his eyes were sticking out? I don't know how old you are, but if you got like Amazon Prime or Netflix, you got to sit down and watch Total Recall and The Running Man. So watch those movies with Arnold. And anyways, and then he got back inside of the ship and everything went back to normal. He's like, oh, that's what happened to me. And we called it a day after that. Like I went home, I was like, why did I just tell you that story? Because it was fun and it was funny. I got stung by a bee. All right. So the $99 guy works. Get in where you fit in. That's my favorite saying. Where are you at? You might have to do that for 2-3 years and you get a whole bunch of customers like that, but then you upsell them other stuff. You upsell them packages. Now you're cleaning their windows and doing their gutters and trimming their shrubs, and then you say, screw all that, I'm just gonna do patios and hardscapes and luxury services, and then maybe you get into selling them, same customer, you start out with 99 bucks, open the door of the relationship, and you sell them a $50,000 patio install with a freaking barbecue pit, or maybe you do all their shrub trimming and tree trimming for like, $2,500 a year for the next 5 years. Like, what becomes the average ticket price for that customer? Are you getting in the door for 99 bucks and that starts a relationship because you're going to upsell them, and then over the LTV, the lifetime value of that customer could be like 10K, right? 10K. So what is your customer acquisition cost, your CAC? How much can you actually afford to acquire that customer with or without your personal time? How are you running your business? Think about all this stuff, let it sink in. But I'll tell you one thing, if you're running out there behind the mower 60 hours a week, and then you freaking, someone's gonna take that one clip right there, and they're gonna be like, this guy's nuts, right? Because a real like lawn care guy who's seasoned understands that was like a hysterical laugh. Because that's how you become. When you watch videos like this and you learn, well, you gotta be doing your Google ads and your pay-per-click and your Facebook marketing and your Facebook ads, and how come your website sucks? And you need to be part of this coaching program, and you need to be doing all these things. And the guy behind the mower who has no time to do any of that, he's like, I know, the only thing he can do is listen to podcasts. The Untrapped Podcast or any other of your favorite podcasts on Apple, and then your head gets filled with so much good information, then you become stuck because you're still stuck on the machine, on the power washing line behind the mower. And when you're the dude or the dudette stuck doing the thing, you don't have any time to do any of this stuff. All you know is you're just digging, hoping one day it'll change, and it'll never change. Unless you're just in some type of spiritual holding pattern. There are spiritual holding patterns where, like, for the next 6 months or year or 2 years, maybe like the Spirit, I call it the Holy Spirit, just wants you to just do this because it's trying to work something. Some people are like, all right, that's where I leave the video. As soon as he talks about this stuff, I'm out of here. The other stuff he was saying was kind of making sense, but as soon as he talked about that Holy Spirit thing, I just had to get out of there. the turd in the punch bowl. No, not at all. But maybe like the Holy Spirit is like working something out of you or working something into you, because either something, my friend Brendan Burchard said, either something new is going to come into your life or something new is going to come out of you. And sometimes there's a gestation process where you got to suffer it out and just hustle like crazy for like 2 years straight, watching other people pop and blow up and become successful, and you're just stuck. But then at one point, when you've had enough, you're like, you know what? I'm done. I don't care what happens. Like, you have to cross that membrane and get through to the other side and be there in spirit. Because in spirit means, inspiration means in spirit. You become inspired. You have to get to a point where like you don't care anymore, but like in a positive, productive way. And that's when all the stuff will become clear to you. But anyways, I got a long way to go. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just was having fun figuring this out in my own business. And I raised the price today. We have a $400 minimum. So $399 minimum to do any job. Because I just can't afford it to do it less. I can't. Because there isn't any job that just takes, oh, we're doing one job tomorrow. Very, very rare thing. It's $200 to trim up one little tiny ornamental tree. I promise you, my guy will be in and out 30 minutes. But I got another guy going back to reseed some other stuff from other job he did, and then they're both gonna meet back at this other landscape job. They just did one today for $1,000. They did 2 yesterday, one for $550 and one $450. We're doing another one Friday. What is this? It's some topsoil. I think it's $1150. Then we're starting another one for $2,700. And then we got another one for like $4,000, and we got another job on the almost on the books for $13,500. So these little tiny jobs, like under $1,000, are driving me nuts right now. Something's going on in this season. It's so weird because our average ticket job is about $2,200. A few years ago it was $1,200. Went up to $2,200. I'm trying to get that average ticket price up, but it's a weird time right now. So you take what you can get and you just keep it rolling and make sure it's working. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm obsessed with this stuff. I get P&L statements from Dan Plata from Blue Sky Services. If you go to keithkalfas.com, my name, keithkalfas.com, just like in my profile, keithkalfas.com/resources, you can get all the information to all the software I use, my bookkeeper, all the stuff, anything I need. I got books here. These on Amazon, just type in Keith Kalfas, audible.com. You can listen to my books while you work. You can also go on Untrapped Podcasts and listen to my podcast. I talked about Jobber software, getjobber.com/Keith. You get a free trial of that. Come to the GIE Expo in Louisville, Kentucky in October. keithkalfas.com/events. I'll be there. Or I'm speaking at the huge convention in Nashville, August 19th. Yeah, keithkalfas.com/events. But anyways, at these events, you can plug into people who are doing some serious things and then get all the answers and all the information that you need. You can join coaching groups, get online courses and programs, all that stuff. And I just told you way too much information, but you can plug into people who have already been through this stuff and just shortcut your learning curve and just go bing, and within you can do in what would take you 5 years to do yourself, or 10 years, you can figure out in like a year. So check it out. Hope that serves.